Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Friday, May 9th, 2014. Yesterday was the New York Insider Scope Conference held by Insurance Insider, the magazine, or actually it's also a daily reinsurance industry news service. It was held at the New York Athletic Club up on 59th Street on Central Park South. I did attend. It was a very interesting day. It had a number of industry figures ranging from John Charman, Pat Ryan, Toby Esser, Rod Fox, Sean McGovern, Jed Rhodes. It was quite an event. One of the most interesting topics was actually the last presentation. It was given by Mike Millett, the global head of structured finance at Goldman Sachs. Mr. Millett said that the influx of capital from capital markets into the reinsurance sector could almost double to $87 billion within the next 5 years. He estimated that about $45 billion is currently invested in catastrophe-linked funds such as NAFILA and collateralized reinsurance vehicles such as ILS and DaVinci. He said about 66% of that is derived from pension, endowment, and sovereign wealth funds. He says that the recent broker estimates that capacity could reach $100 billion is not far off. He also predicted a long future for hedge fund reinsurers, which he suggested will grow in numbers in recent years. He said that on average, there was at least one inquiry a day from hedge funds that are thinking of following in the footsteps of the likes of Third Point Re, Hamilton Re, and most recently Watford Re. There was a pretty strong earthquake in Mexico yesterday. It was a 6.4 down in the state of Guerrero, about 171 miles southwest of Mexico City. There were no injuries, fortunately, but it did send thousands of people racing from high-rise buildings in Mexico City following pre-planned evacuation routes. President Vladimir Putin of Russia is now in Sevastopol in the Crimea. He appeared there later this afternoon after attending official May Day ceremonies in Red Square. Thousands of Russian troops marched through Red Square, accompanied as well by fighter jets flying overhead. Mr. Putin came to participate in Victory Day celebrations in Sevastopol, which of course is in the Crimea, celebrating the conclusion of World War II in 1945. Richard Breedlove, the American general in charge of NATO, called Mr. Putin's visit to Crimea inappropriate. Third Point Re, which is one of those hedge fund reinsurers, this one backed by Dan Loeb, posted some disappointing results for the first quarter of 2014. The company made a net profit of a shade under $40 million, compared with about $74 million for the first quarter last year. John Berger, the chairman, remains optimistic, as well he should. The reason their premiums dipped is because they did not renew 3 existing contracts, mainly in the crop insurance business, which Third Point is exiting because of disappointing market conditions. This is why John Berger has been hired. He is an underwriter. He will walk away from business if it's not adequately priced. Not disappointing at all. South Korean prosecutors are now seeking to formally arrest the president of the company that owns the ferry that sank last month, killing about 300 people. Chong Ha-jin Marine Company's president is probably going to be arrested later today. The government has gone to court to ask for permission to arrest him. The president gave a statement saying, "I feel very sorry for the victims and their family members. I committed a grave sin." Authorities now believe that improper stowage and overloading of cargo are one reason, in fact, that the ship sank. Aviation officials in Ghana in West Africa say that at least 4 people are dead after a helicopter crashed heading to an oil platform offshore owned by the Russian oil Lukoil. There were 8 people on board, 3 foreigners and 5 Ghanaians. 3 survivors have been rescued. It's not yet known if the foreigners are dead or not. This was an oil platform on the Jubilee field. And the American helicopter company Sikorsky has won an initial $1.25 billion contract to develop and build 6 new American presidential helicopters that are going to replace the antiquated fleet That was built in 1961. This is Marine One. They are helicopters that fly from the south lawn of the White House to Andrews Air Force Base, so the president can board Air Force One. And they are also taken on board a C-5A Galaxy Starlifter anywhere the president flies. The helicopters are now extraordinarily sophisticated. The new versions will be anyway. After the September 11th terrorist attacks, the government decided that the antiquated helicopters needed to be replaced. These new helicopters will include video conferencing facilities as well as radar jamming equipment and the ability to survive an electromagnetic pulse. The old aircraft, even though they're finally old, are maintained extremely well. But people working on the helicopters say that they're glad that a replacement is finally going to be brought into service. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.